right. Fuck yes. Welcome back tonight. Me, as always, Brian Canosa. With me, as always, is Jonathan Hardesty.
Well, hello.
Emily Blake.
Hi.
And CHEWIE Darso.
Hello.
As always.
Yeah. Well, I was gonna say as always, but she hasn't been on in a while.
Well, we had to swap.
Being a parent.
Babysitting, working,
Yeah.
that shit.
It's a lot of stuff.
Yeah, making money.
Yeah.
What if Chewie and Sam are the same person? We never see them in the same room at the same time.
Oh, goodness.
There's a theory for you. Maybe somebody will crack it.
One of us is way thinner than the other.
And let's be honest, Sam and I would be a horrific
Oh,
couple.
you guys.
I love
You
Sam
would
dearly.
not be able to own lamps.
You could last
Lord.
episode. You couldn't even agree on whether or not The Witch was a funny movie.
It's not a funny movie. She was wrong.
Are we talking about
But it's hilarious.
The Witch that came out
Yeah.
2 years? That's not a funny movie.
Thank you. That's the one I should be married to.
Wait, Sam thought that was funny?
She said there was a naked dance party.
It's not. Okay.
No, we've done an episode on it.
Okay.
Go back to it where we
I
talk
don't
about how.
remember that part.
Yes, you do.
I don't remember talking about her thinking it was funny. Maybe
Oh,
I
she
blocked
wasn't
it.
on the episode. Hunter was
Okay.
on the episode. Doesn't matter.
Okay, sorry about
Special-
that tangent. I'm sorry, guys.
She did defend Super Mario Brothers for you last week, so
She
at
did.
least there's that.
She spoke
She
up.
did?
Yeah.
Yeah, for the most part. Yep, yep.
She
I
did
didn't
it.
know
She did.
about-
100%.
She did it.
100%.
Did she actually say good things?
She did. She did
Is
say.
Brian lying to me because
She
he
said
does
that-
that?
No, she did say it was an enjoyable movie.
She said the best things.
She basically said, because Chewie's not here, I have to do this. But she
Okay.
still did it.
It's
Special guest this week we haven't had on in quite a while just because I didn't ask and I'm rude like that. We have Justin Thiele on.
Hello.
Justin, I bring you on for your wild antics and your incredibly lively atmosphere.
I didn't take any notes when I watched this movie. And I'm not sure I remember a lot of it.
You watched it like 12 hours
I
ago.
watched it 12 hours ago.
I watched it in the theater, but I forgot a lot of it as well. So thank you, Brian, for making sure I paid to see this movie twice.
You're welcome. That's all I got. So today we're talking about, if you can't guess from the name of the episode that you downloaded, Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom. The stellar sequel to the stellar reboot of the actually stellar franchise that only has one stellar movie in it. Yet we're still here.
You know
Keeps
what?
happening.
You know what? It was okay.
This one?
I enjoyed parts of it.
I'm not going to try as hard now. I was going to do my best to defend this movie today, but if Chewie actually enjoyed parts of it, I'll let her do the defending.
Right.
'cause
There were some not terrible moments.
Yes. That is the name of the game.
There's one moment I liked a lot.
Just so as everyone knows, my Stegosaurus is apparently missing some of its plates on its back.
Chewie brought dinosaurs.
It's not going to survive.
Chewie did bring
very well.
dinosaurs.
They're pretty cool. They look like they're on a trek somewhere.
They all look like they're really mad at Justin.
This is one of my thrift store finds when I realized I screwed the thrift store by accident.
Did you steal them?
Well, they were all in a basket together, and the basket was labeled $2. So then I thought all the dinosaurs were $2, and that's what I told the cashier. And she was a teenager; she just kind of shrugged and went with it. And then I got home and realized that they all had individual price tags.
Oh,
I
Chewie.
went, oh well,
So she bought a $2 basket
full of dinosaurs.
full of dinosaurs she was supposed to pay for.
Chewie ripped off the Goodwill.
It was an accident.
That's okay. All capitalism is theft anyway.
Yeah.
People, there's a
They
lot of
were
things.
donated to that place.
There's a
And
lot
now
of things
they're
on the
donated to our
internet that
place.
says the Goodwill never actually puts any of their money in any Goodwill, anyways.
Yeah. Let's do a Where Have You Been Doing? Because I'm excited to talk about this one. Because, oh boy, is it a good one. I'm only being slightly sarcastic. We kind of talked a little bit about it last week, but I had to bring it up my own. I saw Bad Times at the El Royale. And because we already kind of talked about it a little bit last week, I won't go too far into it, but I will just basically throw in, I also loved the hell out of it. It is currently front-running my favorite movie of the year, which is saying something.
It's a visual feast.
It is.
And fun, good writing.
Yep. The way that I've pitched it to people is if you enjoyed Reservoir Dogs and Hateful Eight, but like, the fuck is his name now?
Drew Goddard.
Yeah, Drew Goddard.
Drew Goddard.
Then this is for you. If you really love Drew Goddard and those movies, this is exactly up your alley. Mm-hmm. If you don't really like those movies and still like Drew Goddard, you'll still be okay. If you don't like any of that, skip it.
Yes.
But I think it was pretty great. That's it for me, though.
I recently watched all of Lost in Space on Netflix. And to say at the end of it, I was underwhelmed. The ending was strong until the very end. My biggest problem with the show was it just felt like an exercise in screenwriting, where it's just like, all right, so they're in this situation, they got out of it. What's the next thing that could go wrong? And because they told me that when I was in screenwriting school, and that's what this show felt like. I could just hear a teacher going, okay, what could go wrong next? How do we make that worse? What could go wrong next? And it's just after another.
That sounds like good writing.
Not when it just feels like a slog.
I enjoyed that show.
It had good parts, but at the end, I didn't necessarily care about any of the characters, particularly Penny. That's her name, right? The redhead? Because her sister's a doctor. She's got a lot of purpose and a lot of drive. She has a relationship with pretty much most people, and I really liked her developing a relationship with the smuggler guy, Drew, whatever his name was. The boy... I just forgot.
Will Robinson.
Oh my god.
It's like the one name everybody knows.
Danger.
Will kind of looked like a lost puppy most of the time, but I still enjoyed his interactions with the robot. And Penny just... They gave her a little romance with a dude, and then...
It's unclear what Penny's job is.
Yeah, Penny doesn't do shit. She's just kind of there.
Did they give her an unrendered CGI monkey to play with?
No.
Oh, this show sucks.
Yeah, missed opportunity.
Because it worked really well last time.
That movie's really good.
It is.
Like Lost in Space.
I actually enjoy the movie. I'm not being sarcastic. I think it's fun.
But at the end, they actually became Lost in Space, and like, it really like...
So at least it delivered the title.
Did somebody say, "Oh my God, we're lost in space"?
They kind of did.
And then visors
They
came
kind
down
of
over
did
their eyes.
because they're just standing there
The
looking out
sunglasses.
their window, going, "Where are we?" And then it's done. And then
Some of the season was like a prequel.
yeah, I guess. I mean, like I said, it had some good parts, but for me, the best moment was in the last episode when Will looks at his mom and says, "What's the point in always protecting me if I can never protect you?" And I'm like, there's good writing. There's a great moment. I loved that moment. So I guess if I had to watch the entire show to get to that moment, it's worth it. But
Emily, what about you?
I read Rebirth, Wonder Woman, Book 1, Greg Rucka. My buddy Greg Rucka. I wrote a thing and he retweeted it once, so we're friends now.
That's all it takes.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. No, I love Greg Rucka. I love the way Greg Rucka tells Wonder Woman stories, particularly. So it was really cool to see him back, and because he's my favorite writer of the character. And it wasn't as good as his original run, I don't think, but just slightly. I think he had a tall order. He had to take like the New 52 story and work it into a new world and make it make sense and make it good again. And he had to deal with the fact that she was off fucking Superman, and he dealt with that. And so basically it felt like the entirety of book 1 was like sort of just fixing things that New 52 broke. I liked it. It felt more cinematic, for lack of a better term.
Yeah.
It felt like, but I liked his solutions. Like, I mean, his solution to why she was off fucking Superman when she's talking to Steve, she's just like, it was just easy dating Superman. And I was like, there you go, one line, you're done. You don't need to go into it, and it makes a lot of sense. And now we can move past that weird phase. And the other things, like she has disjointed memories, like she can't remember. All these things are mixed up in her head, and that makes sense because Wonder Woman, probably more than any other character, has had more fucking versions of origin stories. It's crazy. So, like, he dealt with that too, where it's just sort of like, she's like, I don't know what's true anymore because I feel like I'm the daughter of Zeus. I also feel like I'm a clay baby. I also feel like I was Ares at one point. Did that happen? Like, I kind of like that. But he never really answers that question. It's more just like she's confused. So I really enjoyed it.
You should read the rest of them. Like his whole run is really good, and then as soon as he stops writing, it's just boom.
Yeah, because other writers get Wonder Woman, but I feel like the way he sees her is the way I see her. I mean, I love that he made her in his original run. He made her a diplomat. I mean that, and her manifesto and the way that she sees the world is so perfect and beautiful.
Yeah, his whole run on Rebirth was really good, but then when he quit, it just woof.
Yeah. They
finally found a good writer, but still not. It's not Rucka, but that's a tall ask. Yeah. Although Kelly Sue DeConnick does have a Wonder Woman book coming out next year, which I'm really excited
I am
about.
into that. Yes, please.
It's on DC Black Label, so
And
who
which
knows
they
what's
will
going to be in it?
Hopefully
'cause-
not censor.
Yeah.
I watched the Wonder Woman movie on my neighbor's airplane seat without any sound. So there was
That
a lot
is-
of motion and a lot of faces.
Have
So-
you seen it since with sound?
No. I saw it on the airplane.
Did you get the sincerity through the visuals?
Yes.
Okay.
I fell asleep halfway through.
Oh, well, that is on a plane.
Do you have something else you'd like to say for where have you been doing, or is that good enough for you?
You may move on.
John, last but not least.
All right. Well, between watching this stuff for the last episode and Hill House, I had a lot of time, so I've been listening to some music, and I listened to Beck's new album Colors. But I want to specifically point out the music video that Edgar Wright directed for the title song Colors. It's fun. It's got all of his staples, the kind of the silly editing, the long take, and all that. And Alison Brie and Beck are kind of dancing around in like weird color correction, black and white stuff. It's very technical and very filmmakery in that Edgar Wright way. And I enjoyed it.
I'd watched the video. I did not like the album, so I never looked up any of the videos.
You're not a Beck person.
I'm not, but I always give it a shot. I'm always interested in Beck, and then I'm always like, no, not for me.
Yeah, the video was pretty much the entry point into listening to the album, really. Because like, oh, he directed a music video. Let's see what he did. And it's like all the things that Edgar Wright does in this movie, he did here in some way, shape, or form.
So Jurassic World,
Ugh.
Fallen Kingdom.
Ugh.
Let's do a little bit of the numbers game on
There's
this
a
one.
decent amount of falling in this movie.
Yeah, sure.
They fall off a cliff. They fall off
Volcano
a ladder.
erupts and debris falls
They
from the
fall
sky.
through some
Yeah.
glass.
I think that's about all of it, though.
They fall in love.
No.
How dare you?
They fall in love with a small child.
It's more so
Who wins
the
their
dude
hearts.
falls for the girl, convincing him to go be a manly man for her for a moment.
They fall in love with dinosaurs.
Do they, though?
They do.
There's
I think they do.
there's way. If we're gonna get right into it,
No, we're not. So
You have to do your breakdown.
yeah, we still do a breakdown first, and I wanted to read the numbers because I feel like this is very important to remember why we're still here. This movie costs 107 worldwide, $1.3 billion.
Fuck everyone who went and saw this movie, including me.
Like, if we don't stop paying them, they're not going to stop making them. So it's on us. Damn it.
I will say though, actually, my watching this in the theater was kind of enjoyable because it became so ludicrous that I just couldn't. At one point, I don't remember when, I could not stop giggling, and I was just having the time of my life laughing at the ridiculousness of this movie.
Oh, so that was the other thing I was going to bring up really quick. Reviews in this movie that we all, I think, can collectively agree was a terrible movie. A solid 50. People enjoyed it. Middle of the road. They thought
That's
it
why
was
I
fine.
said it's okay.
It delivered dinosaurs. And
No, it didn't. No, it didn't.
That's true.
It did not.
It delivered dinosaur-like
No,
creatures.
technically they did deliver dinosaurs.
Yeah.
They are a
Okay,
delivery
no,
van.
fair
the
enough.
whole
Okay.
movie was
Literally
dinosaurs.
delivered dinosaurs.
Delivering
There were-
dinosaurs.
There were all dinosaurs in the whole movie. Were you watching?
I was, and we'll get into why I think you're wrong about that.
Oh, it's gonna be technical.
It is
And
going to
then
be
it
technical.
had Chris Pratt being charming.
Charming's a strong word for Chris Pratt in
Charming.
this role.
Yeah.
But anyhow, before we go any farther into this movie, we need to do a 30-second breakdown. This week coming to you from Justin Thiele. Justin, are you excited for this?
You'll have to remind me what this is.
You have 30 seconds to say everything that happens in the movie.
Oh, okay.
Hold on. Jurassic World, Fallen Kingdom, in 30 seconds. Here we go. Go.
So it's a continuation of the previous movie where there was Jurassic Park World, and it went really bad, and they all left, and they left the dinosaurs behind, and it was fine. There was equilibrium. Then they decided a volcano is exploding, and this is a problem. But the problem would have solved itself if they've just let the dinosaurs alone. But somebody really likes the dinosaurs, like loves the dinosaurs a lot. And so she's like, we got to go save the dinosaurs. A rich guy's like, you got to go save those dinosaurs. She's like, handsome guy, come with me, save the dinosaurs. That wasn't 30 seconds.
It was 30 seconds. You had a timer sitting in front of you.
I could tell you were taking too long.
Yep.
And then they save the dinosaurs and they get loose at the end.
I mean, you're right. It's still a failure, but now I don't have
They
to
get
sew up the rest of it.
footloose.
They don't just get loose; they set them loose.
Yeah.
So let's talk about this thing.
Can we talk about the science of this movie?
Oh, please!
No.
You can't talk about the
No?
science in this movie. I mean, sure, go for it.
So much.
There was none. Moving on.
They implied science.
The volcano was real. Volcanoes erupt.
Volcanoes
do.
erupt.
Lava is a thing.
If you are
Not the
within-
lava in this
If
movie.
you are within a foot of lava, your skin starts to burn.
I saw Dante's Peak. You cannot hide from lava behind a fucking tree stump.
Nope.
It bought him some time, and then he walked away after he shook off the tranquilizer.
But no, that lava got within inches of his skin. He would have been boiling.
I got the fact that he was in danger, and I think that's what the movie wanted me to know, and I think it was successful.
And the fact that the dinosaur level trank that he was injected with wore off in, 10 minutes?
Yeah, like, all right, we're gonna use this trait to take down a dinosaur. Or Chris Pratt. Like,
Okay, that's not the most bothersome part of that scene. I know we're like jumping ahead, but in that scene, one of the soldiers gets mauled by the dinosaur, and they never, like, it just happens, and then he's gone. Like, no one mentions that a dude just died. When they leave, they're all, like, worried about Chris
They're
Pratt.
military. They don't care.
Lots of people die in this
care.
movie.
Like,
military people
no one
don't
has died
care.
yet. This is our first death, and he is mauled by. In fact, we don't even know that he's dead. He's mauled by the raptor. No one is like, "Hey, is he okay?" The doctor, the dinosaur doctor lady, runs to Chris Pratt because he's been tranked, and it's like there's literally a dude right there who's probably bleeding out because he was just mauled by a fucking raptor.
But he shot the raptor,
He's a
so
bad
he's
guy.
not good. He's a bad person.
I just, why does anyone care about this guy?
he's a bad guy.
Because he's
Not
a
to
mi-
the dudes who are running the show.
They all know they're bad.
But they were all
They know what they
were
signed up for.
Also, a
military.
bad guy. Well, fuck him.
Yeah, they're all
Okay.
military. That's what
But
most
she
movies
doesn't
work.
even. Okay,
I'm kind of
okay,
on both sides of
all
this
right,
fence.
are
What
we
happened
gonna-
to leave no
okay.
man behind?
No.
Right?
If we're gonna talk about the girl and science, okay, one line. Oh, I'm a paleo veterinarian that has never even seen a dinosaur, and
She
she's
studied it in school.
I never thought I'd get to see it.
because it's
Like,
it's okay.
What career opportunities are you hoping for with
I
that?
don't
Like,
know.
Well, I mean,
She's
this
probably
is-
going to go work at the park or something.
Yeah,
She's probably already on the track. That's like a 5-year
and
track.
then the park closed down, and she was
Right.
like, "Fuck, what now?"
Got to go work
I
for
gotta
this
save the
NGO.
dinosaurs.
Like,
Because otherwise, I won't have a career.
Yeah.
life throws you
Talk
curveballs,
about
man.
you thought you were wasting your money going to liberal arts. This girl wasted a lot of money going to paleo vet school.
So the thing that like we kind of hinted at in the beginning of this thing, or I kind of hinted at, and John even mentioned when he was watching on Facebook, is that yes, there are dinosaurs in this movie, but I've in all of the Jurassic Park movies, which there are 5 of, I've never felt like they were more of just like, oh fuck, I guess we have to fit dinosaurs in here somewhere, don't we? Like they thought, like it felt like they thought they had a really good movie about like the arms trade and weapons and politics, and it's like
I had
and
to-
rich people and how they'll spend the
Yeah.
money on anything.
I had to pause the movie and look at the Amazon thing and just see like what movie was this again?
yeah, like
Because at a certain point I looked over and there was no dinosaurs and just people bidding on things in cages that looked kind of like dinosaurs, but
because screen time, there's definitely more dinosaurs in this one than say Jurassic Park. But the Jurassic Park, like they were the reason you were there. This one, they somehow, I feel like the filmmakers thought we were showing up for the people.
they do this with the scene where Bryce Dallas Howard gets up to the mansion. She gets out of the car, looks up at the mansion, and it's the same shot when in Jurassic Park when they look at the dinosaurs. It's constructed the same way where she's
Yeah.
like,
Oh.
wow, the big building, and then they pan up the big building and the music swells. I was like, that's not what we're here for.
Well, you can't make it about
the
dinosaurs.
references to the previous movie are insane.
It's
You could do a drinking game.
But the thing is, they missed the point. The first movie, I was thinking about this. The first movie is very simple. They need to get
Park
out
or
of the
World?
park.
Park?
The
Yeah.
original Park movie. You need to get out of the park. Just leave. That is the mission in Jurassic Park. Everyone's trying to find each other and leave. It's the simplest possible storyline so that the movie can focus on how cool the dinosaurs are.
Yes.
And give you a sense of tension. It is very simplistic. This movie is fucking convoluted. There's so many moving pieces that it's like, oh yes, there are also dinosaurs here.
So
you know?
we have the stupid will they won't they between Chris Pratt and Bryce Dallas.
they won't.
Yeah, there was no tension.
Yeah. You have the,
bangs, her bangs had
dinosaurs
tension.
and whether or not dinosaurs have rights.
That was also
They
not.
don't.
That was also not tension.
And
It's
then
just,
you have the old millionaire whose legacy has been controlled by the other dude who's totally destroying his legacy. And then he gets murdered. And,
Jeff Cochran.
And then you find out, which I figured out immediately, that he cloned his dead daughter and
Yeah,
then
it's
his
right, it's
granddaughter.
so obvious.
I didn't get it.
The moment he said,
I'm like,
"You're
why
a
is she
spitting
so young
image," I'm
or
like, "She's a
old?
clone.
Yeah.
She's a clone."
Oh yeah, it's right. As soon
I
as
was
he
thinking,
said
who's
that.
the father?
No one. She's a clone.
She's a clone.
So there has to be a father.
the first
original.
one.
He's
That's
the
what I'm
father.
saying. That when he said that, that's what I was thinking.
Well, no, he's
okay.
the father.
Yeah, he's
the
the
grandpa's
father.
the
But-
father.
We
But
learned
no,
that
she's a
later,
clone.
but I
you
want to
know
know
that
that.
when she's the clone. If you didn't pick up that she's a clone,
I just want to know where the father
He's
is.
an
Like,
he's a deadbeat dad.
I
I
wanna
don't
know.
know.
But like no one who made the movie gave a shit about
and then
that
you
character
have
anyway.
the underground of rich people who want to own dinosaurs, and then people who want to use
As
dinosaurs as
weapons?
weapons.
Speaking,
Dino
that's
Riders
what I was-
dudes.
Okay, that's what I was confused about. Have we seen B.D. Wong since the first movie?
Yeah, he was in the last
Yeah,
one.
he's
Oh,
in
he
World.
was in the last
Yeah.
one. Okay.
And we didn't see him in Lost World or whatever the third one was called.
I
There
don't know
was a Sculpt
why
3.
he turned into a bad guy. I like him. What the fuck?
See, they made that turn in the last movie, and I actually thought it kind of worked in the last movie. Like, not fantastically, but it's just kind of like my entire job is to create dinosaurs. And after Jurassic Park, I'm not allowed to do that anymore because it went nuts. So what the fuck else do I do? He made weapons. And I, okay, I can make that leap.
I
He's
have
a
so
mad
much-
scientist.
I have
Yeah.
so much rage about Jurassic World that I tried to forget everything. And the rage came flooding back in the opening scene of this movie when they were like, "It's the unobtainium dinosaur," and I was just like, "Oh, I hate that thing."
I honestly like the
Dino.
no, that's the new one.
No, the Indoraptor's a new one. What's
Yeah.
that? What was
Indominus
this?
Rex.
Indominus.
There you go.
So here's the thing with this one is that I think we can all pretty much agree from how we're angrily talking about it. It's not a good movie. But I kind of want to talk about the things that I thought the movie attempted to do well, even if it didn't necessarily succeed. They hired a horror filmmaker. Like that's what this guy. That's how he got his start. That's where he really kind of kicked off. He was doing The Orphanage. Like he's made
It's one of my favorite.
he's
all-time
made good
horror
movies. And he wanted to make this movie scary because he said that, facing off against dinosaurs would be scary. I agree with that. And I like the moments where it kind of feels like a horror movie because there are a few of them. They're few and far between, but when it happens, it's kind of cool. Like even like the end of the movie, it feels almost like a haunted mansion, except there's no ghosts, there's fucking dinosaurs, which is
Right.
it's a weird idea, and I don't think it's pulled off really at all. When I saw the trailer for this movie and you see like the wave coming and you see I don't know the name of the dinosaur, like going after the surfers, I'm like, oh shit, this is going to be awesome. The dinosaurs are actually going to the mainland. It's
That's
not
the
just
next
gonna,
movie.
And it's the next movie. And it's like, I don't care about watching the haunted house of dinosaurs. Like when they got to the house and they're there for about 20 minutes, I even looked at Chewie, I'm like, is the rest of the movie in this house?
They can't let it leave.
Like, when you have fucking dinosaurs, how do you make it a small scale movie? Like, what? Like,
You make it about people who are just trying to escape the island.
And this is what, like,
yeah.
the fifth
But
movie?
even the island is, they have to escape the island.
Yeah.
This one, you have to get out of the house. Just go out the front door. Movie over. Like, what the fuck? Like,
You could have left the dinosaurs behind, so you've now made the entire world your house.
Yeah, like,
Bomb
it's...
the house.
Well, that's one of the problems that I had with getting back to science. When a predator is a actual legitimate predator, they're only hunting when they're hungry.
Oh my god!
They don't
Thank
just
you.
go like
That's in here. That's in my notes.
my life is constantly threatened, but I'm definitely going to keep hunting this one specific person.
Oh my god!
Even though I can get away.
They're running away from the fucking volcano, and a dinosaur stops to eat another dinosaur. This is
It's so
I'm
dumb.
angry.
It's so
It
dumb.
makes me so angry. Like it's Sharknado. A shark is falling from a fucking tornado,
But it's really worried about biting that
and
person.
on the way down, it eats people, and it's like, no, that shark would be like,
Wait,
what the
hold
fuck
on.
is happening?
Are you telling me that you don't stop for a quick bite when you're running for your life?
No.
Come on!
No, it bothered me because I didn't like it when they were in the underground thing, and the thing even gets lava that slams on its face, and somehow it's still preoccupied with
Right?
eating the one
It
dude.
would be like, fuck this, I'm out.
Yeah.
It would be dead. It just had
Also
lava
that.
hit it in
Yeah,
the
that
face.
too.
But at the very least, it wouldn't be like, let me try that again.
Try that again.
Must have did it wrong the first time.
It's just because, yeah, the only thing that I could think of is that these are all mentally handicapped dinosaurs who don't really understand their impulses
Well,
or the need to survive.
so here's my best thing about this movie is that while attempting to say good things about it, we spiraled into rage again, which I think is pretty adequate for this film.
Okay, I have a good thing.
Okay.
When they're in
How
the,
are we gonna get pissed off about this in 2 minutes? But okay, go ahead.
when they're in the truck
That
trying
pissed me off!
Trucks don't drive like that.
No!
Well, no,
Oh my God, no, they don't though. She fucking drives the truck off the ramp. What ramp?
Yeah.
What are you? Oh,
Okay,
oh my God.
we
Okay.
have
I
the
do-
one reference to Speed, guys.
Yeah.
They reference the previous Jurassic Park.
And that's Justin's favorite movie.
It's Justin's favorite movie.
and then she's trying to drive up the ramp of the boat, and the tires are skidding, and instead of downshifting, she upshifts, which would actually produce less torque and would make you spin more.
See,
So that was-
I don't know that. You know something I don't.
That's what took me out of the movie. At this point.
I do have a good thing. Okay, so when they're in the truck and they're tranking the Tyrannosaurus or whatever, and he's all caught and it's all wah wah. But in that moment, that animatronic looks fucking baller.
Oh, it does.
Like it looks so good. They killed it.
She did fulfill one personal dream of mine of riding a T-Rex. Like, just get on it like a bull. Do I look like someone who's ever been a bull rider? Just do it.
That's kind of the thing, though. Like, when this director took over, his biggest complaint about Jurassic World was that they didn't even bother with animatronics. Like, they went full CG on nearly everything in that movie. And he said when he was making this movie, he wanted to use practical whenever possible. If it was possible to do with a real thing on set, that's what he's going to do. And he did. Like, for the most part.
It looked great.
And it looked great every time. So, like, there are things in this movie that made me go, like, I don't blame the director necessarily. I definitely don't blame the actors because they did what they were supposed to do. Like, it really just came down to, like, it felt like studio notes of, like, let's make this for everyone. Like,
It could have been so much scarier. If he actually was allowed to make it a legitimate horror movie, I think it could have been done.
Instead, he just kind of went for, like, horror aesthetic, which is, like...
Which still beautiful, but there's nothing to back it up.
The last action sequence when they're on the roof of, like, the... Not greenhouse, but kind of whatever,
The gallery.
like, the glass ceiling
Somehow I
thing.
kept thinking about the crow the whole time we were doing that.
But like, that's... I could see that, but that's because it looks like a horror movie, and like it's really well shot, and like it's really just kind of like pretty in this like gross sort of like weird not dinosaur attacking people, but like it was entertaining and it was cool and it was well shot, and like that's what I wish the whole movie was. Because like when I go to Jurassic World, I'm like, okay, everything's blue and it's shot like it's a Target commercial. Like what am I watching? Whereas this one, like it actually felt like there was attempt at filmmaking, which is great. Unless it gets like failed on all fronts, which I feel like this one ended up doing. But I think the effort was there. Like I feel like they legitimately
I think the effort
tried.
was there too.
I think they went the wrong way with their intro. They did a traditional Jurassic Park intro of people or la 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 on an island full of dinosaurs, and apparently not prepared at all for there to be a goddamn dinosaur.
I do love the guy who's like, I can't reach him, and everyone's like, get in the helicopter. What?
Yeah.
I love that guy.
That was a cool shot of the giant unobtainium dinosaur or whatever. I keep forgetting. Dominus fuck. Is that what that was?
It is
What
called
was
Indominus.
that?
They get attacked by attacked by a
The
T-Rex.
giant dinosaur
Comes out of the
that
water.
ate him coming from the water.
Oh, the MacGuffin fish.
Is that the same as the... Cause
MacGuffin fuck.
No, it's the
oh,
MacGuffin
that's
fish.
right. That's the fish that
That
We don't
solves
remember
all
its
the
name.
problems in Jurassic World.
don't
MacGuffin fish.
start. I'm
The one that ate the babysitter?
so much
Yeah.
anger.
Okay.
Okay, so my point was, by opening that way, I get it why they open that way. They always open that way. But the problem is, the plot of this movie is that we're supposed to feel sympathy for these dinosaurs. We're supposed to want to save them. And you open your movie not with the scene of the dinosaur getting killed on the dock that's actually kind of sympathetic. You don't open with the scene of Blue being cute like a dog. You open with a scene of monsters being super scary. So when we cut to the people who are like, save the dinosaurs, I don't want to save the dinosaurs. Instead, if they'd open with a scene of the dinosaurs doing something sympathetic that made you go, oh, God, I guess they do deserve to live. Then when we cut to the people trying to save the dinosaurs, we're with them. We're there. We're in on it. And then we're really hurt when the military guys turn on us. Instead, it was just like, scary dinosaurs. Let's save them. Fuck no, let's not. And then they even double up on that by having Jeff Goldblum go, no, let's not. And we all trust Jeff Goldblum. So we're like, yeah, Jeff's right. So then we cut to those dumb people trying to save the dinosaurs. And it's like, no, you're all stupid. Also, your outfit is stupid. Everything they put her in this movie was bad.
She's a nasty woman. Did you know that?
Yeah.
They got that line in there.
They sure
Sorry,
did.
I shouldn't have segued into wardrobe, but because I was making a point there about something else. But yes,
That was where Brian and I talked about while we were watching this movie, because they had so many people going, wow, Jurassic World sucks towards women. And then in this movie, they're like, guys, we learned our lesson.
look at her shoes.
Look at her shoes. None of their clothes are form-fitting. They say nasty woman. And it's like,
But I love that we got 2 close-ups of her shoes
Yeah.
and then panned up. 2.
yeah, it's just,
She's not wearing heels this time, guys.
my God. I'm never a fan of pandering. I like it to be a genuine attempt at equality, not like, look, we did it.
They put her. She looked, and when she went to the castle, she looked like she was going to ballet class. What was that outfit? I'm sorry,
I don't know.
yeah.
That one felt weird to me too. But yeah.
Let's talk. Let's This one's tough.
I feel.
I can talk
It's
about
just-
how I enjoy that they're sticking with the archetypal American man myth for Chris Pratt's character.
Yeah.
Oh my god, he is such a man that he builds his own cabin in the middle of the woods and
drinks beer.
He drinks beer and
That was
and
cool.
he's such a man that he is the one that broke up with the girl. She didn't break up with him. He's definitely the one that did it. And he's such a man that he can't admit that he has maternal instincts towards this being. Like, you know, you have a daughter, Chris. No, she's just a thing. Like, I don't care about her, but you do. Like, they kept doing that the whole movie. I'm like, he's like toxic masculinity that's kind of like a puppy, where it's really cute and you still like him, but he's probably a huge dick.
Well, yeah.
I
And
know.
he's always a huge.
But I just like how they stuck with it. They changed a lot of the stuff for the women,
true.
but
He
they're
doesn't
like,
have
we
much of an
stuck
arc.
with this one.
Yeah.
We stuck with this dick.
But it's not like they learned their lesson though, because they didn't like tone him down or have him ever get called out on any of his shittiness. He's just still.
No, he's still a dick.
Yeah, but like the long and the short of it is like this movie just like the main reason I think we have as many complaints as we did is just because I honestly and
He
I
had I had one moment where I actually fully identified with his character, which was when they got out of the moving container from the T-Rex after he had jumped through the T-Rex's mouth. And the only thing he wants to do when he gets out is goes, "Did you see what I did?
Yeah.
Did you see that?"
That's relatable.
Yeah, that's totally what I would say in this
Yeah.
situation.
I
Holy
did
shit.
that.
Look what I did.
I did that like 2 days ago after I dropped a straw and then I was able to bat it in the air, then grab it, and as I was grabbing, I was able to take it out of the paper. Then I looked at Chewie like, "Did you see that?" She's like, "No, I was looking at the baby." That was the most like
Was
ninja,
the baby
like,
doing that?
because it was amazing.
How does it feel to know that by default an inert, not moving thing was more exciting than your straw?
It's a little it's a little hurtful.
Yeah.
But what I was saying is like the thing that I will keep coming back to on this movie, and I think why we're as upset about it as we are is because I feel like the effort is on screen. Because I think if it was just a bad movie, say Jurassic Park 3, we'd all just kind of gone, that sucked, moving on. But like when you're given the idea of a good movie and then denied that movie, it's like more egregious. Like it's more like, what the fuck just happened? Like, oh, so here's a cool idea. We're going to release dinosaurs on the mainland, and we're going nuts with it. And now it's like, well, yeah, you'll still get that movie, but fucking Colin Trevorrow's going to direct it, so have fun.
Ugh.
And then it's like,
Should we take bets right now on whether or not at some point the dinosaurs go through like a brothel or a massage parlor or something and eat a bunch of women?
Well, the dinosaurs are all going to be wearing heels.
Yeah.
or they just tell Naomi Watts what to do with her life. See Book of Henry.
No, don't.
That's such a fucking garbage movie. But like, I kind of want to move and talk a little bit about, like, again, trying to go back to things that worked in this movie. Justin, did you have anything in this movie that worked for you? Because before we started recording, all you said was it was bad.
I mean, you know, it's a competent. It depends on what sort of perspective I think you're coming at it. If you're at the target market, which I think is the 8-year-old boy, there were dinosaurs, and they had glam shots of the dinosaurs where if a dinosaur had a victory, it had to have a little pose or whatever.
Yep.
And you were sympathetic towards dinosaurs, then the dinosaurs ate bad guys. That would be good if you were that person who wants that. Is that a qualified enough statement for you?
Yeah, I feel
There
it
was
works.
I personally also really enjoyed the ramming head dinosaur when he got in the room
Yes,
with people.
that was entertaining.
Yeah. Did you enjoy that?
No, because violence against people is not funny.
Oh.
Like, I felt bad for everyone who was there. Also, I didn't understand. So, all the rich people are in this giant room and they're bidding, but there's like people who want it as like a pet and then like arms dealers. Why are you even catering to the exotic pet market? Like
'Cause whoever's
the
willing to pay the
arms,
most.
Yeah, it's just
like
money.
the bioweapons people are going to pay way, way, way more money, and they're not going to want to hang around with these like Looney Tunes from Houston.
Yeah, but you just want the most money possible. So
Why'd they even bring out the prototype if they weren't going to sell it?
That's
they
a
brought
very
it
good
out
point.
halfway. He
Well,
specifically says we are halfway through, and then they bring out their big gun. It's like, what the fuck? What's the rest
No,
of the
he
night?
did it because he wanted to sell it. Like,
Yeah.
it was like, oops, I brought it out. And like, it's just a prototype, guys.
No.
Don't
What
buy
I
it.
mean is you saved that for the end. He brought that out halfway through the show. What was going to happen
Oh,
after
he's,
that?
well,
Going
he's
back
bad
to-
at that. He's bad at presentation.
bad. He works
he's
for
a bad
Hydra.
auctioneer. Really good actor though, and
Yeah.
I always like when he pops up and it's kind of sad.
the
that he
guy from Hydra.
his accent was kind of bad though.
His accent is always kind of bad, unless he's playing Capote, where he did a really good job and nobody saw it.
I also had a good moment of humor with that, with the 2 people hiding, or 3 people hiding in the elevator.
Oh, that was great.
And he's like, you, red-haired woman, you are now the bait.
Yeah, you can tell that Trevorrow was still involved in this movie because the woman instantly became the bait. But the thing that you kind of almost started touching on that I want to move on to that I think actually works in this movie is that it has a sense of humor that like isn't really in Jurassic Park. Like Jurassic Park isn't known for its like comedic beats. Like there's parts that'll make you like laugh, but it's not like
Well, the hammerhead dinosaur, like
Honestly,
the hammerhead
that's
dinosaur.
what made me enjoy this movie more was like just the humor.
But it's not even just the hammerhead like thing. Like it's throughout the whole movie. There are legitimate, well-written jokes like that are funny. Like they're not great, but like they're almost kind of Looney Tunes. Like when he's in the entire sequence where they're getting the T-Rex blood to give to the raptor. It's like a legitimately funny, slapsticky scene that you really wouldn't.
I don't think it was supposed to be
expect.
slapsticky. I think it was supposed to be like tensiony.
It's totally supposed to be
It's
slapsticky.
slapsticky.
As soon as he does
The
the
way they
thumbs up,
shot
like
it
the
and
"I'm
everything.
good," like that. It's
But that I don't know. That was an off note for me.
Yeah,
I'm
well,
not-
I think
they
part of-
they throw all that stuff in there, and again, it's like I don't know. It's like we made this tension, and now we're just gonna let you know that everything's fine, and like we're gonna completely remove all
It's
the
almost
tension.
like a Disney movie.
Well, it is, they really
Yes.
want the
It's also,
Disney
like,
framework.
all the things that worked in the first movie were the awe-inspiring. Like the dinosaurs are scary, and they're and this movie starts out with scary dinosaurs, and then it makes them funny, and it sort of takes away from its own like dinosaurs used to be these creatures, and now that we like, admired and were scared of, but also like had this respect for. I don't know. It's just sort of like hee
But
giggles.
it's
I
one of
think
those
that
things.
gets down to. Sorry, you go.
I was going to say it's we're at the point in the franchise where if we don't have any new ideas, which we don't,
We just
'cause-
keep creating new
no,
dinosaurs.
that you start turning into a parody of yourself, and that happens with a lot of long-running franchises. Fucking watch Fast 8. Like
But
I
they
loved
lean
it.
into that shit.
They lean
like,
into
all
it, sure.
the way.
Yeah, but like it's just one of those things where like after a certain time, either you start making fun of yourself or you're out of ideas. And this one just went for the making fun of itself, and it didn't nail it per se.
No.
But I think the fact that I was able to enjoy moments, I was very relieved, because if it was all just this grinding bullshit nonsense the whole way through, I would have been bored to tears. But at least every now and then I could kind of chuckle.
Like I said, I think I remember when, as soon as that truck went off that ramp, and it was ridiculous, and I just defied any kind of concept of how things work. I just started giggling. And
Did
the
you like
whole rest of
Speed?
it. I enjoy Speed, but at least there they kind of explain it. In this
Not
movie,
the bus ramp, they don't.
Well, no, she's going off a ramp.
Construction.
And then,
It's-
yes, construction.
it's
Construction.
Whatever.
But
Flat.
the other reason I think that they
Construction.
are doing what they're doing is the Goosebumps moms, who are like, "This is too scary for my children.
Don't watch it.
Get it out of my school." So they're like listening to those women who are like, "Our child cannot be frightened, but they want to see this movie." And I want to spend money on it. So they're pandering to those people. We're
Well,
like, we
yeah.
can't let the
I mean,
children get too scared.
It's obvious this is oriented towards like a youth audience. I feel
But
like.
the
Like
thing is,
a baby
back in
audience.
the day, we used to be okay with scaring kids. I mean, I even...
Is that just your memories of watching movies as a
Well,
kid and
there
being
always
scared,
was.
or
There's
like
always
in the
been
80s,
kids, and I mean,
in
there
the
were kids in the
80s,
first
they
Jurassic
made all
Park.
kinds of scary kids movies.
Like
in the early
Goonies
90s.
would not be made today, and that's technically a kid's movie.
There's also always been a kid in
Yeah.
Jurassic Park.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's always been an entry point for them
And
to watch
she's
this
not
movie.
really... The girl, the
What?
child in this movie is not really there until the end, and she's
And
very,
not,
very...
not even really a child.
Well,
There
that's-
is-
I was
there
gonna
is-
say that is kind of the metaphor for the movie. This cloned child that's not a real child is in this movie that's a cloned Jurassic Park movie that's not a Jurassic Park movie.
There
It's
is
like the whole all this cloning stuff. Like they've kind of unconsciously like pulled their pants down for us as the audience. Like
there's a line that I was debating using for my quote, but I'm not going to use it. Where B.D. Wong is explaining why they need like some DNA to create this new monster combination, and he just yells out, "It needs a mother!" And I was like, "Oh, just like the clone needs a mother." Oh, but then they never did anything with that.
also, is it just me or did he whine all his lines? Like whine shout all his lines? Like
Yeah.
we need to do this. We need to do this.
I mean, at that point, he was the scientist who people are
not listening?
not
to.
listening
Yeah.
to. So that's... And they haven't been listening to him most of these movies. He's a very frustrated
Again,
scientist at
another
this
kind
point.
of outing moment. Like no one listened to each other in this movie. Everyone was just kind of like things were happening at each other, like talking at each other, interacting at each other, and no one was responding. Like I couldn't focus on this movie.
Every
I don't
character's
know.
kind of in a vacuum in a way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That well, like I said, then he needs a mother, and it's just like, okay, cool. The clone also needs a mother. Are we gonna do something with that? And then they didn't do anything with it. They
She got
don't
Bryce Dallas
have-
Howard.
No, they totally
No,
kidnapped
they wanted-
her at the end of the
But that's
movie.
not- I know, but it's not like.
I thought Blue was going to be the mother.
Oh, that would have been better.
No,
Blue
that's what
Raptor.
they meant when he
For
said
the
that.
Indoraptor.
Oh, for the Indoraptor,
We're
not for the
talking
girl.
about the girl, the human child.
Oh,
Yeah. No, I mean, I guess.
I mean, she
guess
does too,
gets
I guess.
I don't know. I just felt like it wasn't.
But
there wasn't a thematic.
But you're talking
through
about
line
how
in that way.
not science, but like how things work. They just kidnapped her.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah.
But here, totally moving past the girl, like now that we've kind of mentioned Blue, now that Blue's on the table, like I just want to bring it up because she was a major-ish part of Jurassic World, I guess. But she wasn't, like, the 4 raptors were a major part, and she's just the one who didn't die. And now they made it look like, oh no, she was always the special raptor. It's always been about Blue. The other ones just followed Blue. I'm like, I can make that leap. I guess that can kind of work. But then they don't really do anything with Blue. She does save the day, I'll give her that. But otherwise, it's just kind of like, oh, so she's going to pair up with Chris Pratt. And then, nope, she just leaves.
She's the MacGuffin dinosaur. At the
Yeah.
end.
And they could have made her the main character.
They
We could
should've.
have started this movie by showing sympathy to her Blue, and then we get why they want to save her, and we want to save her too. And then in the end, she saves the day. I mean, we could have had a whole story about Blue. It would have worked.
Honestly, the romantic relationship I'm interested in is Chris Pratt and Blue,
Yeah.
not Chris Pratt and Bryce Dallas Howard.
But that's a paternal relationship.
Fine,
still,
whatever.
it's-
It's the loving relationship I'm
Yeah.
into is that one, not the other one. 'Cause
Yeah. No, totally. I would have just get Bryce Dallas Howard out of this movie and just have Chris Pratt.
Well,
with
don't go
Blue.
nuts. I love Bryce Dallas Howard,
She
but
doesn't
she does
really-
nothing in this movie.
I'm
I'll give you
upset
that.
with her wardrobe. And her bangs.
Why wasn't she Jessica Chastain?
They're not the same person.
Are you sure?
I was confused.
I
I thought they recast the movie.
Man, I would love to do a movie where we have all of the interchangeable redheads movies. Like we have all the interchangeable Chris movies.
Like the
I wanna do
Expendables,
that
but
one.
for redheads.
Yeah. I still
That would
want
be
to.
a confusing movie to watch.
I still want to do a movie where it's just all the Chris's together talking about their blue eyes.
My friend Jessica Ellis, who needs to be on our podcast, she has this pitch for a dog movie, but all the dogs are voiced by all the Chris's.
Oh yeah.
That's it.
It's pretty good.
Yeah, it's great.
Let's see. We've been talking for a while on this thing, but I feel like we've barely scratched the surface and just yelled a lot about it.
But no, I guess the question is there more than just the surface?
That,
of this?
that's
Yeah.
the like what is like if
'Cause I was trying to find what was deeper than just that, and I didn't. I
Do we like dinosaurs? Like,
Yeah.
in the world of this movie, do we like dinosaurs?
that's
I don't know.
I have no idea. Like
I was on the side of let him die.
so
Jeff-
was I because that's
Jeff
what Jeff
Goldblum
Goldblum
wants-
told me to say.
Jeff
Like,
Goldblum
Not even
wants him to
that,
die.
it just makes sense. They have no place in the world anymore. They were a giant science experiment. It has failed twice.
Mm-hmm.
And they are going to be a constant threat. They don't work in the ecosystem anymore.
That's true.
There's no reason to keep them alive.
And let's not forget, yes, this island's blowing up. Those dinosaurs will die. There's another island right next to it that's chock full of fucking
It's like-
dinosaurs.
oh, that's a good point.
I already
That-
saw that movie. It's called The Lost World, which
They-
this one essentially remade.
But that movie in this universe doesn't exist because when they came out with the Jurassic World movie, they said this is under the assumption that Lost World in the third film didn't happen.
Oh.
Is that really
What?
the case?
No, they
I don't
said
remember
that.
that, but okay.
No, I read that.
Well, that makes sense.
Wait,
then.
which one's the Lost World? Is that the one with the kid who does gymnastics?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, God.
You know what? I will
It's
say,
a different timeline, guys.
I will say, the clone girl in this one is not the most annoying child that's been in these
The
movies.
gymnastics girl is pretty
She'd
annoying.
be probably second most.
Okay.
The most
I
annoying
just
is
didn't
the
like that she
stupid
was-
kid who counted all the teeth in the last movie.
Oh.
That kid was
Oh,
annoying
I
as shit.
hated that line.
We need more teeth. Get the fuck out of here.
Oh, it was such a bad line.
Ugh.
Oh, I forgot about it.
Yeah,
Yep.
we need more teeth.
Oh,
This is gonna be what we put on T-shirts, guys. No, it's not. Nobody wants it.
it doesn't even sound good.
I was so okay. Slight tangent. I was on a Bohemian Rhapsody promotion shoot, and I was so excited because I looked at the names on the call sheet, and I got them mixed up because I thought the kid from Jurassic Park was in the cast of Bohemian Rhapsody, and I was gonna meet him, and then I got there and I was like, he's not here, and then I looked it and I was like, oh, they have similar names, and I was like, damn it, and so I spent like several days being all excited that I was gonna meet that kid, more excited than I was to meet Rami Malek. I was very stoked, but he wasn't there, so I don't know why.
Was Rami Malek at least there?
Yeah, he's there.
Well, at least you got that.
Yeah.
If he hadn't shown up, that'd
He,
have been very
he and I made
disappointing.
eye contact at one point. That's the most interaction I
So
had.
now you're friends.
No, basically. Just like I'm friends with
I
Greg
did
Rucka.
that
Yeah.
with Steven Soderbergh once.
Oh my God.
Oh, locked eyes. We're friends now.
We're friends.
I looked at him too.
Oh.
And I tripped over Matt Damon. So
Oh,
we're
there-
friends. Yeah.
that's- Yeah.
I,
Of all
I-
these friends, look at me name dropping.
I accidentally cockblocked Matt Damon.
You did.
He was mad.
That was awesome.
Sounds like a good story that we don't have time
We
for.
I
don't
wanted
have
to
time
talk to
for
my friend. And he-
Get out of the way, Matt Damon.
Matt Damon.
I'm trying to think if there's something we've missed in this movie. Like the The question wasn't really
I was
answered. What else
actually-
do people think? Do we actually enjoy dinosaurs in this world? Do you think the world likes dinosaurs? Or is it just this one little collection of like political offices? It's like,
And I don't understand.
save the dinosaurs.
I don't understand why. Like, why does I just thought Bryce Dallas Howard was not? I didn't realize she was such a bleeding heart for this. Like,
She wasn't in the last one.
So
they
they
were
ju-
just assets.
Yeah.
And people were murdered in front of her by the dinosaurs. So
Yeah. It's really weird because like she's asset management. Like that was her job in the 1st one, and she didn't really. She's like that was the
She
argument.
viewed them as a tourist attraction, not as living, breathing things.
But that's the thing. Like, so the whole argument in the last one was that Chris Pratt saw the dinosaurs as creatures that need to be loved and taken care of, and to Bryce Dallas Howard, they were just money-making beasts. And somehow between the two movies, they flopped.
yeah.
Like Chris Pratt doesn't care, and Bryce Dallas Howard's like, we have to save the dinosaurs. It's like, you're not the same person. Granted, she went through a very life-changing experience, so I guess I can kind of understand it. But my life-changing experience after that would not be
The PTSD.
let's save these
But
things.
again, could have been solved by opening the movie by giving the audience a sympathetic scene of dinosaurs. Then we'd be more inclined to believe her, even if it didn't make sense for her character.
Why they didn't start with Chris Pratt taking care of Baby Blue, I don't
That would
understand.
have solved a lot of problems.
Because this is an adorable scene. It worked. It was.
And then cutting to Blue by herself in the forest.
Being
and,
all sad.
Yeah. And then,
Yeah.
oh, what's that? A volcano. Oh, no.
Run, Blue, and you're like, run, Blue, run.
Yeah. All better.
I have a note about the film trivia about the filmmaking. This movie had an unusual situation where it actually had 2 script supervisors. It had, and not like second unit, it had a team. So it had a script supervisor and an assistant, which I thought was really interesting and I wish more movies would do. However, even though it had 2 of them, they must have been annoyed as shit because there's a scene where he's creeping up on the car and it does the rearview mirror where it says objects in mirror. You know, it's a callback to the first movie. But then when we cut back to him, there is no angle from which he can be seen in that mirror. And that was bothering the shit out of me. Thank you, that is all.
Did you notice the 180 break?
No.
There's a
which
180
is-
break in there.
Oh, God.
I was like, as it happened, I'm like, oh, Emily's gonna hate this.
I didn't see it. Where was it? I may not have been looking at the screen.
Don't worry about it. It was in the chase when they're running from the volcano.
Oh.
So
I
it's
wanna- I
it's
do
hidden
wanna-
in there well, but
Yeah.
That does make me want to pick up on what you just said, Emily. I may not have been looking at the screen. There's nothing like for as well as it's shot. There's nothing that encourages you to look at the screen 100% of the time. And what that created for me was a sense
that is
of
it.
It's a good crossword puzzle movie. I did 2 while I watched this.
I was doing other things while watching this movie because the movie was not demanding any of my attention. But then that created confusion because I wasn't watching the screen because it wasn't demanding any of my time, and it was a weird experience.
The whole sequence when they're running from the volcano eruption, you could skip to the end and you're not missing anything. Like,
Yeah.
there's no character development. There's nothing that happens in that scene other than them running.
There's
dinosaurs.
peril,
It's
and then they
just
get out.
silly.
How do they get out of that ball?
They pulled it to the side.
He smashed it. Did he smash it with
He
it?
No,
shot it with
he,
a gun
He
that
shot
wasn't
it,
working.
and then he
Shot it,
stabbed
like,
it.
The volcano,
He stabbed the glass.
The magma hit it. Like
Oh,
and it shot
right,
through the
right,
water. It burned through.
But
the glass.
that burned on the top, and then he
Oh.
opened the
Yeah.
side.
Oh, got it.
It just
I don't know.
Wow,
I
we
looked
all
away
watched
once
this
or twice
movie and
during
none of
that.
us remember how they got out of the ball.
I totally don't remember.
I will say
He just pulled it
that
off.
Yeah, he just pulled it. Right?
of this movie,
There was enough time passed.
I really enjoyed the design the whole time, personally, because it was very cartoony in my mind. Particularly the 2 sets that I loved was the girl's bedroom, because she had gold foiled wallpaper with trees on it. And that's freaking epic for a girl's bedroom, guys.
Nice.
It was so like, she has a rich childhood. This is a rich girl, and I thought that was fun. And I liked the almost Illuminati-esque decoration of the auction room with the black cubes on the walls and just everything very stark and dark and sleek and evil. I adored that, personally.
But how do you build that? Like, okay, I've got a facility. Now I need to build like a conference room, but it has to be tall enough with like a track.
Yeah.
So
Well,
they plan all that ahead of
They
time.
made it look like it was designed like a
In Northern
runway
California.
for a fashion show, but for evil people, and now they're going to use it for dinosaurs.
But they're
Evil
all
people that happen to make doors big enough for dinosaurs.
and, and this is a mansion that has an entire loading dock for like a fleet
Dinosaurs.
of semis.
For dinosaurs.
And
Yeah.
they're all sitting on folding chairs.
You need
like-
to cut budget somewhere.
It was like, are we at a wedding? Like,
There was a runway, so it was like a fashion show.
Yeah, it's like a fashion show, but with
They're
dinosaurs.
doing catwalking.
yeah, I suppose.
Catwalking.
Oh, and then when the
You
ca-
can't- this
and
is
then
like-
and then when the
Everybody
cage
want
came
that
out,
dinosaur.
when the cage came out all the way down the track, the auctioneer guy could not see the other half of the room.
Oh, I loved that. Like the whoever's behind the dinosaur, they do not get to bid on the dinosaur. Maybe that's where all
I'm
like the
over
pet
here.
people were.
I'm
Right.
over
Oh
here.
shit, that's a good
the
point.
seat filler.
Hey, I got 10 million. No, 10 million.
As it turns out, the guy.
I'm
over there
not
had
saying any of
200.
this made sense. I'm just saying I enjoyed the aesthetic.
As we round the drain on this thing, I have to bring up the one last thing that. Don't get me wrong. I like this director. I'd love to see him do a monster movie. I think he'd be really good at a monster movie, like set in a house. Like give him like a remake of Frankenstein. He might do pretty good
I'd like
with
to
it.
see him do a Conjuring movie.
Yeah, something like that. I think this guy can do something else that I'd be entertained by. Not another Jurassic Park movie.
I would see this movie directed by the same guy again if they had took another pass at the script to change the opening and also made it like R-rated.
Yeah,
Because this was too like Saturday morning cartoony. Like nothing really happens in terms of
there's
peril.
So that's what they
significant
wanted.
changes.
They wanted a Saturday morning cartoon.
Yeah.
Yeah, you'd have to do a huge change to the script to make this movie good.
But all that positive stuff I just said about the director, I am now taking back and saying I will never see anything this guy does again because he felt it necessary to tell us all that the brontosaurus that we saw violently die in a fiery hellscape. Oh yeah, that was the brontosaurus that Sam Neill and the kids fed in the first movie. Like, why would you?
Unnecessary.
That was a thing.
What the fuck did you do
Yeah,
that for?
I read
Like,
that too. I was just like, why?
Like, why would you do? Like, what do you get out of that? Like, when Trevorrow said the T-Rex is the same as the first movie, that was like, oh, that's kind of cool. I like the T-Rex in the first movie, and look, she's back. That's awesome. Why would you do that with this
Also,
one?
if you're gonna do that, then use it to build sympathy earlier in the movie.
Yeah, like we don't know it. You just
Yeah.
did it just to kill that one dinosaur, just to make us all go, oh, that's even sadder now. Fuck off. Like what? Like I don't know what he got out of that, but it's just like, it's not even just like fanboy rage of like, why would you do that? It's like it's legitimate. Just like, so you just want to piss people off? Like
That's
what is
the-
the point
It's
here?
it's a lack of insight, vision, control, or just any sort of thing that a good director should have.
yeah,
Well,
like,
I will say, like, I actually liked that moment. I don't
Yeah.
like the extra trivia that's unnecessary, but I like that moment because that's the one moment where I gave a shit about the dinosaurs.
exactly. So it
Mostly,
works.
I didn't give a shit about the dinosaur in that moment because I'm like, why would the dinosaur be walking after
It
the
wants
boat?
to go with them.
Why
All its
is
friends
this
are
the-
on the boat.
But that does,
I want to go
But-
on the boat.
it doesn't work for the rest of the
They've never,
dinosaurs.
they've never done a good enough job establishing how smart or not smart they should be. So if he
Yeah.
was that smart or she was that smart, she should have been, that boat leads to safety and I'm not on it. But we've never got the
Yeah, we've never
any of that.
established that the dinosaurs think like that except for raptors.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like it fills me with like legitimate rage of like, what do we gain out of that? Why is this movie at all better for killing the dinosaur from the first movie, or is it just bullshit trivia just to ruin a moment for people? I think it's the latter, guy.
Yeah.
Big swing and a
It
miss.
doesn't help anything.
No, all it does is hurt things. It makes an already kind of sad moment that much sadder, and just
It
for
doesn't.
no
It
reason.
just makes me annoyed.
And so that's
Yeah.
he's gonna apply that to the next movie. It's gonna happen. Like
Well, he's not involved in the next one. It's all
but
Trevor.
like the next thing he does, he's
Yeah.
gonna have that
Trevor-
level of being like, isn't this cool? Here's this detail that isn't given in the movie, but I'm gonna be a jerk by saying it.
Yeah, it's just like, ugh. Blech.
Whereas you have movies from horror directors where they don't reveal the ending. They don't say what it means because they're like, I don't give a shit what you think. I have what I think and that's it. You're not
Yeah.
gonna know. Like there's a level of control, a restraint that turns out he doesn't have.
Yep.
And I'm not that interested to see more.
I would be, and I probably will give him the shot after I calm down after this one for a
I
little
mean,
while.
I
But as of
love
right
the
now,
orphanage
The movie made us
so
very
much that this
enraged.
guy
yeah,
can make me still see his movies.
yeah.
What's
This
his
movie-
name? What's the director?
J.A. I can never pronounce his last name. That's why I haven't said it. So,
It's J.A. That's
it starts with it's like B-O-Y.
Bayona.
Bayona.
Oh yeah, J.A. Bayona. or something.
Bayona.
Yeah, Bayona.
He's
I guess.
Spanish.
Yeah.
Actually from Spain.
And I will most likely see the next thing he does, but I feel personally offended that he killed off that brontosaurus for no fucking reason. But
I mean, theoretically, it would have died. All the dinosaurs died.
yeah, I get that, but it's just weird to be like, oh yeah, that's the one that you know and
Specifically,
love.
that's the one. It's the same thing with the fucking babysitter of the previous movie. Like, why was it necessary to watch her be brutally murdered like
Yeah.
that?
And she's on Supergirl now. She's awesome. So
Yeah. But I mean,
That was
that's
that's
necessary.
Colin Trevorrow.
Yeah, I
That's-
know, but
that's
it's the same thing. It's like, is
Yeah.
it necessary to make it like
Yeah.
even more brutal?
no, it's ridiculous. Let's move into quotes. Quotes.
That is my quote. You guys just like now that we've had that discussion, I feel less excited about my quote because my quote was the dinosaur on the end of the dock going, ooh, because that's the one moment in the movie where I felt sympathy for anybody.
I think you and I have the same quote.
Go ahead then.
It's when they're first going to the island in the helicopter, and the nerdy boy, who for some reason doesn't die, except I was waiting for him to die the whole time, says to Chris Pratt, "We are not compatible."
Yeah, she has the back half of my quote, so I'll go with the front half where I don't remember exactly how he sets up. Like, have you ever ridden the motorcycle doing this before? He's like, I rode my motorcycle through the jungle in a pack of raptors. It's a badass line.
We are not compatible.
Yeah.
Classic nerd humor.
Yeah.
Oh, we need to talk about how that nerd was like such a nerd. He's,
And
like,
we should
such
have
a
died.
stereotype.
One of them should have died. None of the characters that they introduced to you in this
Only
movie.
bad guys died.
Yeah, none of. Yeah. There's
And
people.
Zephyr Cochran.
In the first movie, people that you kind of care about die.
Sam Jackson died.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Poor Sam Jackson.
Hold on. Here,
Wayne,
folks.
what's his face?
Wayne Knight died. We didn't care about Wayne Knight.
Yeah, Wayne Knight.
No.
I thought he died too early.
Is that what
The,
they
the
said?
lawyer
Thank
guy.
you for not calling him.
The lawyer guy died on the toilet.
Yeah, that was classic comedy.
Sorry, I'm gonna side note real quick. Someone just posted in a cosplay group that they're gonna do a cosplay of someone dressing up as Dodson, and anyone who says Dodson, we got Dodson here, is gonna hand him a can of whipped cream or shaving cream rather.
I love that.
Yeah.
That's pretty amazing.
Yeah.
See, no one gives a shit.
Yeah, so that scene when they're in the bunker and the lava's coming down, the dinosaur is coming through, and it's like, look, it's not a T-Rex, and the kid's like, how is this better? And that line, how is this better? It was my thought throughout the whole movie.
How stupid does that kid have to be to think it was a T-Rex? It's a fucking tube. T-Rexes are big.
Yeah, I mean, he probably went to the same like school that the paleontologist did, who was like, I couldn't believe I'm gonna see a dinosaur now after years.
Then
of
why
Jurassic
are you
World.
in school to be a
Why was
veterinarian for
that
one?
in the tube anyways?
Well, so, I mean, you see a tube as a dinosaur, and you're like, well, I'm in danger. I better run. Oh, wait, there's a tube. There might be food in there. I gotta stop for a quick bite.
Oh, there's lava in there. There might be food too.
Yeah.
Ooh, what's that?
That's what I got to say.
Oh, it's you. I'm like, what the hell was that sound?
That was fart noises.
Last but not least.
Um,
quote?
That was a gross fart. I like that.
Yeah.
I like that. I appreciate it.
Wet.
So, did you bring him, or do we have to like go somewhere? That was my favorite line.
What's that from?
Oh, it's the beer. Yeah.
That's the very, very beginning when we see Chris Pratt.
Yeah.
Right.
I don't know. I thought that was very organic and it felt like very realistic, and I just
Very his
feels like-
male
I was
character.
it put me very much on like the positive feelings towards that character, and then he became very boring after that.
I feel like that'd be your response. Like, hey, Justin, you want to grab a beer?
So we have to like go somewhere.
Yeah. That's
So I just want to be clear. Do I have to leave?
Review.
I wish I could go with you to Disneyland with you and your nephew and niece.
Yeah, me too now. Definitely. You want to go ride the Dumber ride?
No, they can go. They serve alcohol there.
I know.
I looked into the VIP thing. It's like $2,000.
Yeah, people do it all the time.
What do you get for it?
Disney makes a
They
lot of
walk
money.
you around and they bring you to the front of the line
That's kind of cool.
$2,000.
It's too much money, but
for
it's
like-
For one day.
for like 3 hours.
Whoa.
Not even the whole day.
It's hourly and there's a 3-hour minimum.
You know, I've said it before and I'll say it again. Sorry, Craig. Fuck Disney. Uh,
And then it's like $200 just for the day.
Gosh, they know how to be rich,
For
though,
like
don't they?
the thing.
yeah.
They just know.
Disney knows how to print money. Within 20 years, our dollar bills will have Mickey Mouse on them. Just give it time.
Yeah.
We'll have to pay for the money we have in our wallet. You have money in your wallet? Gotta pay it.
Pay your fine for your money.
Water's gonna
Thanks
cost
for the money.
so much, guys. Water's.
Oh, capitalism. Review system for today is going to be, I hope, easy, but we'll see. Monster movies. I was going to say dinosaur movies, but that does not work for this one. So
They're all Jurassic Park, except for like, you know, a handful of 50s
yeah,
movies.
a handful of
Lost.
and the Prehysteria trilogy. Everybody remembers that straight to video trilogy. It was so good. Just me? Cool. Monster movies. I'm going to go first, I guess.
All right.
I'm going with Jeepers Creepers 2. And I say that because Jeepers Creepers 1, which I wanted to go with, is actually a somewhat competent horror movie while being campy and stupid, but it's not like a bad movie. I know a lot of people think it's garbage, but it knows what it is the whole way through.
And it does something interesting in the end that
Yeah.
up till that time those horror movies weren't doing.
Yeah, and Jeepers Creepers 2, I actually enjoy far more than Fallen Kingdom, but it's just a fucking mess of a movie, and it just felt like, well, we need to make a sequel. What are we gonna do with it? I don't know. A bus. We're gonna have them attack a bus, End of movie. And that's really the whole thing. And this one just kind of felt like the same thing. Like, all right, we got to do another Jurassic Park movie, guys. Let's do it. What are we going to do? Ooh, house. Dinosaurs in a house. All right, we got a movie, guys. Let's do it. And it's just that same lack of effort in the plot that
I'm going to go with Jaws 3D.
Okay.
Because it's a terrible movie. And there's water. And just in general, I have just a really bad memory of that movie. And this movie also. Like, I don't remember a lot of details of what happened in Jaws 3. Also, I had to watch this movie a second time because even though I saw it in theater, I just remembered the scene where they were tranking the T-Rex and, like, nothing else.
Jaws 3 is the only one of the Jaws movies I've only seen once.
That's bad.
I've seen 4 like 20 times, and it's far and away one of the worst movies ever made. But people always want to watch it for some
This
stupid
movie's probably
reason.
better than that. So
Than Jaws 4?
Than Jaws 3D. No, Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom is probably better than Jaws 3D.
I don't know.
But not by much.
I'd have to rewatch it.
I think. Well, I like some things.
I'll go with a movie that actually I like less than I like this movie.
Whoa.
But it has the same, like, probably lasting appeal for most people. The American version of Godzilla with Matthew Broderick.
Oh, I like that movie.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It's got French people in it. Oh, a French.
Kind of.
Why? That movie, it's just like exercise in this makes money. This makes money, and we should make our own. And why? What does it do? Is it a dinosaur? This is a giant iguana. Okay, cool. It's gonna go through New York. Why? I don't know. It's gonna lay eggs in the stadium.
I like the egg part.
Okay.
You like it when it turns into Jurassic Park.
Oh, yeah. Or even Alien, I guess.
Yeah.
And it had, there's some good humor in that movie, but most of the time it's raining. It rained in both movies, and they're chasing after the dinosaurs, and there's some sympathy, even though not really. Like, you don't really understand why you should have sympathy for it. And lots of messages that are super muddled. And
Yeah, if only Jurassic World had that real hard take against Folger's French roast that Godzilla had. They really took a strong dig at Folger's French roast.
Did not in that movie, they truly just did not understand who Godzilla is or what or motivation at all. And this movie kind of has that with the dinosaurs.
Yeah.
I guess I really just like Matthew Broderick
Maybe.
and Jean Reno. So, or not Jean Reno.
I like Jean
You had it
Reno.
right. Jean Reno,
But
yeah.
I don't understand why the French had any stake in that movie, really. Like, why were they there?
No,
They wanted coffee.
yeah.
Okay.
To be
There's so
French.
many just like making fun of French people in that, like jokes in that movie.
Why?
It's ridiculous.
And Greeks. Because
Yeah.
they can never say Matthew Broderick's last name.
Was he supposed to be Greek?
Yeah.
I think it's supposed to be a Greek last name.
That seems weird.
Yeah. It's a
It just not
There's-
a good movie.
Roland Emmerich and his choices are always a little like, huh. I mean, I guess it kind of worked.
No. It's
All of his movies.
Now I'm thinking of what that movie would be like if Jason Mantzoukas played the Matthew Broderick character.
Such a better movie. Such a better movie. I would watch that tomorrow. Like, now.
I'll watch anything with Jason Mantzoukas,
Yeah.
but I would love to see Jason Mantzoukas' take on a role that is
Matthew Broderick
supposed to be serious.
played a guy who was really into worms, and somehow that mattered for Godzilla.
That fucking movie.
I got
All
worms.
right, next.
I'll go. The Descent 2.
Okay.
Oh.
Which, the way the Descent 1 should have ended, the original ending was where it all just went belly up and they all died. And they shouldn't go back in. Like, there should be no reason to go back in. It should just be over and done with. But there's more, and we go back for the monsters, and it's hard to focus on because it's convoluted and boring. And, like, all the choices it's making is just like, well, you were trying things. I guess applause for that, but I couldn't focus on it. Like, it just was a tough watch.
Good job, John. You just got applause from Lady Gaga in my head.
Nice.
How? Never mind.
I'll accept it.
Sure. Justin, what about you?
So if I'm going to compare it to a monster movie
Yes.
that I also did not like and also had the same, I don't know if the monster is a good guy or the bad
You're
guy
about to say Shape of Water.
because it's mostly like action figures like banging against each other, I would say Pacific Rim.
Okay, thank God. I was so afraid you were about to say Shape of Water.
They're both directed by the same director, so.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I don't really love Shape of Water.
I know, that's what I was
You
afraid
don't
you were
really
going
like
that way.
Guillermo del Toro.
I like Pan's Labyrinth a lot.
That happened a long time ago.
At the end of Stars Born,
Oh.
Spoilers.
that's all I'm going to say.
Wait,
Thanks,
what? I
haven't
didn't
seen
see
it,
that movie.
so-
That's what happens in all the Stars is
I
Born.
I haven't
seen
seen
any
any
of
of
them.
them.
That's what happens in those movies.
I knew that. I knew Chewie hadn't.
It's very, like, that's how those movies end. And that's just what I think.
Okay. Well, now I know. Thanks for that.
Well, at least for the audience, there's a good bleep there. So it's just the people around this table that had this ruined.
It's been on my mind all day.
That's the end of today. We've finished Jurassic
did it.
World: Fallen Kingdom, and now none of us have to see it ever again.
Well, we're gonna go back.
Yeah,
We're gonna go back.
you have to go back.
Yeah.
Every
We have
time.
to go back. Sorry, I started going full Lost.
I watched I watched Jurassic World on a plane, and I watched Terminator Genesis also on that plane. It was a long flight, and
I like Terminator Genesis.
ended up deciding. Okay.
There's a lot of problems.
Well, I ended up deciding that Genesis was a better movie because at least
'Cause
they
it's a
were
good movie?
Trying,
Yeah,
no,
I
it's not
agree,
a good.
yeah.
No, they were
pretty decent.
trying something. Whereas Jurassic World, by the time I was done watching Jurassic World, I got so enraged by
The Raptor thumbs up.
yes that the Tyrannosaurus was chasing her because it was presumably hungry, and then at the end it doesn't get any food.
Yeah, and it doesn't
And
eat the
then
raptor
and
that's
it
standing
doesn't
next
eat
to
the
it.
raptor, and it doesn't eat the people, and it just fucks off into the mountains to be a Tyrannosaurus. Maybe that's why it was cool.
Wait, are
Maybe
you
that's
talking about the
the
finale
same.
to Dexter?
I will say this
It
much.
grew a beard.
If you want to hear Emily's original rant on Jurassic World, go back to our Fury
Oh,
Road
did I already
episode.
do this rant?
Yeah, you did.
I forgot I already did
That was the
this rant.
first time
I'm
we ever had
sorry.
Emily on this show.
What?
The
Oh,
very first
shit.
time you were ever here, you did like a good
I
10 minutes.
apologize for doing the same thing again.
It was years ago.
It's still on my mind.
But you
I
were
haven't
real
forgotten
fired
it.
up
It's a
then.
bad
so.
movie.
It makes me angry. That's why as soon as this movie opened and we saw that dumb dinosaur again, I was angry all over again.
So I'm going to bring today's episode to a close. We're going to say goodbye. Coming up, we have, I don't know yet because I haven't made the schedule, but it will be movies. And I know 8th grade is in there somewhere because we have a guest who
okay.
wants to talk about it. So as soon as he is available and we can pair up, then we will talk about the movie 8th grade at some point. And I hear it's really good, so I'm excited to watch
Yeah,
about that.
I heard things.
Otherwise, quick round of plugs. Venture Bros every Monday. Check it out. It's been one of my favorite things I've done in a long time. It is so much fun to talk about every week. Samwise on Tuesdays. Check it out. It should be in its own feed now. I assume it might not be, but it should be. Otherwise, you can just find it in the same feed you're here. Otherwise, listen to itself. Articles every Wednesday and Friday at athpod.com. I write some of them. My time to write has been severely diminished as my son has stopped taking naps. So my articles have slowed down.
Just have him write them.
They'll be great. This is why I like video gaming. Any other
Totally
plugs?
understand.
Is there any other housekeeping, quote unquote, for us? Was that everything for After the Hype?
No, I think that's it.
Yep.
Housekeeping.
Plugs.
Watch Superstore.
Watch Superstore. Emily, are you sewing at Emily Blake
Yeah,
Sews?
I sew Emily Blake Sews. That's my website. Also, my Etsy shop. You can hire me to make you a 13th Doctor coat. You can also hire me if you've got a Disney-bound idea or some other kind of geeky apparel concept that you can't find. You can hire me to make it for you.
Cool.
Or a cosplay.
Screen accurate and quality. I mean,
What else can you ask?
You even made your own fabric for the most recent one.
I dyed my own, I dyed my own 13th Doctor coat fabric.
I was talking about the one that you had printed for that dress.
Oh yeah, this I had to do a Giselle from Enchanted dress, and I actually drew a fabric and had it uploaded to Spoonflower, and it worked really well. It's not 100% screen accurate because I can't draw, so I
it
was
looks really
really
good.
really fucking amazed with how good it did look because I was like, I'm gonna try it, and then I was like, hey, that looked pretty good. So
That's awesome.
My client is very happy.
John, anything to plug?
nothing yet.
Justin?
I have nothing creative going on in my life.
Perfect. So thank you everyone for listening. Thank you, Justin, for coming back on, and bye!
Bye.